Good morning, brothers and sisters. I didn't hear you. Good morning, brothers and sisters. It is a great day to stand here as the leader of the Labor Party, as a premier of the country, celebrating Labor Day in solidarity with our union partners. My greeting is going to be short, but all I'm going to say is this, that I look forward to working with all of the unions in this country. I look forward to serving all the workers in this country, and it is my hope and prayer that together we can work in unity to ensure that the promise of which was stated on July 18th by the voters of this country can manifest itself through policies that are positive, that will support the growth of labor and our people inside of this country so that we can reach our full potential. So happy Labor Day to all of you, and I look forward to spending some more time with you today. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm very grateful to be here today as the minister responsible for labor and immigration. All of us know that were it not for trade unions, we would not be in the place we are today. Trade unions have protected and advanced the interests of workers in this country for more than 50 years. They are an essential part of a working relationship for a stronger and a fairer Bermuda. In my ministry, we have acted already to strengthen the relationship with trade unions, with employers, so that Bermuda does become a fairer place. We have already met with the Entertainers Union to ensure that entertainers get a place of priority in their own country. We have already fixed some of the challenges with the current work permit policy, a policy which says that employers no longer needed to submit police certificates for contract workers. Yet ACON has a policy which says no Bermudian with a criminal record can work in sections of the airport construction phase. Unacceptable. So we have fixed that. Employers must now comply with the policy so that we know there's a safer and a secure environment for all employees in this country. This government will address some of the fundamental problems when it comes to the workplace. Employers are now increasingly hiring people only as contracted labor. They do that to avoid paying any benefits, which affects the workers as time goes on. We are fixing that. We will address the challenges brought about by those employers who provide unacceptable living conditions for their work permit holders in lower income categories. When you have oppressive policies for contract workers, work permit holders, you make working conditions worse for Bermudians. So we need to fix that as well, and we will. Our election platform calls for a fairer and a better Bermuda. Our platform calls for consultation. So on each and every issue, we will consult with you, the people, we will consult with the trade unions, we will consult with employers. But the objective is to make a society in which workers are respected, workers are valued, and can contribute to a better Bermuda. And finally, because I was told I only have 5 minutes, and politicians love to talk, I will just say that in the next legislative session, we will be looking at all the labor laws to see what changes can be made and should be made to ensure that workers' rights are protected, are advanced, and we have a society which respects that. Thank you for the invitation, and let's work together for a better Bermuda.
Thank you, Brother Arnold, and happy Labor Day. Celebrating solidarity. For those of you who were at the BRU banquet on Saturday evening, you were there, and you saw those young leaders, future leaders speak. So those of you who weren't there, go up on Bernice, get to take a look at our future. Our future is in good hands. When we have Sir Johnny Lee, Siobhan Hutzel, Tyree Richards, and Robert Thomas, who done an outstanding job on Friday evening and representing our future leaders. So thank you. Now, as we are here talking about labor and talking about celebrating solidarity, for 4.5 years, 4.5 years, Bermudians jobs, percentage of Bermudian jobs. You've heard it before, but I'm going to repeat it again for those of you who may not have heard it. And yeah, it's Labor Day. We want to speak about labor. So where we saw 1,600 Bermudians lose their jobs in the last 4.5 years, 1,600 Bermudians, that's a fact. And on the other hand, we saw 400 non-Bermudians lose their job. That represents 80% out of those 2,000 jobs, 80% were Bermudians and only 20% were non-Bermudians. Now, whilst we do believe that we need non-Bermudians here to keep our economy going, that ratio should have been the other way around. It should have been 80% non-Bermudians that lost jobs and only 20% Bermudians. Now, if the skill sets were there, then it might have been 70-30, it could have been 60-40, but it shouldn't have been 80-20. There's no way they can justify that. So certainly I can tell you that based on the OBA's policies, what happened on July 18th was no accident. Every time the OBA does something that enraged the people, you ought to know that on the 18th of July, all the House of Cards came tumbling down. Why? Because boats do not grow on trees. Let me just repeat that. Boats do not grow on trees. So when the Minister of Finance was saying that money doesn't grow on trees, be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. And over the last 4.5 years, or they say 3 years plus, the OBA government personally attacked Brother Jason Haley through the Minister of Finance. Interesting because, you know, the Minister of Finance took out a suit against Brother Haley, financed by the OBA government. Georgia Marshall referred to us as the 3 bad news birds going up in Bermuda. And on the 18th of July, once again, the House of Cards came tumbling down. And then last year, might have been October, November, Reverend Dr. Nicholas Tweed was given an ultimatum by the Minister of Home Affairs to pack your bags and leave the country by the 19th of January 2017. We all know what happened because Reverend Steve Tweed is standing here with us today. Well, I just spoke about Brother Hayward, I spoke about Reverend Tweed. I guess I'm not sure why I wasn't in the mix somewhere. Maybe they just thought they'll get 2 out of 3. But certainly I want to finish on this note. The PLP took government, or the PLP was voted into Parliament, voted into government by the voters of this country on July 18th. And on July 19th, shortly thereafter, after the Premier appointed his cabinet, Mr. Trevor Munnis, the Attorney General. Oh yeah, I'm going there. I'm going there. And the reason why I'm going there is because had this been the OBA just elected over a PLP government and this sort of thing would happen, you can bet your boots or bet your life somebody would be behind bars right now. Think about it. When Premier Dunkley became Premier, he ordered a special commission to look at the PLP's audit return, or the country's audit returns under the PLP government for 2010, 11, and 12. So how is it now we have an Attorney General who has our files, the people's files, and we go look for them, we can't find them? Where are they to? And you all know just as well as I do, if that would have been a PLP government right now, the country will be outraged. You'll be demanding results. It's my opinion that it might be wrong. But Minister or the former Attorney General right now, he either should be behind bars or he should be facing charges. You simply can't say that I'm above the law You are not about the law. Recognizing that we do have a progressive Labour Party government, not true enough. Let me digress just for one quick moment. In 2013, 2014, the trade unions of Bermuda tried to work with the OBA government, and nobody could refute that. I said it before, I'll say it again. I got in trouble for saying that in order for Bermuda to turn around, the OBA government, the PLP, employers, and trade unions are going to work together. People accuse me of throwing the OBA a lifeline. I tell you, last year, the lifeline must have been too short, they're now recorded. Now they're drawn on the 18th of July. They're all drawn. Well, not all of them, I guess maybe 7, because PLP gained 7 seats. So let me just leave you with, this is Labor Day. Understanding that we still have a lot of work to do, and it's going to take the collective will of the people to make sure the work is done. No one person, no man is allowed unto himself, but if we work together and work collectively, we can get it done. So happy Labor Day. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, on July 18th, the PLP regained power in Bermuda. Brothers and sisters, it could only be described as a landslide victory, one of epic proportions. But that landslide victory brings concern to many, both PLP supporters and non-supporters. Some people are of the notion that a landslide victory means that the Progressive Labour Party now rules, or has the ability to rule, in some sort of dictatorship style. See, some are scared because the OBA are now feeble and anemic, that the PLP will run forth with its agenda with no real accountability. Brothers and sisters, that can be not further from the truth. The labor unions in this country have always held governments accountable, whether friend or foe. But what it does bring, it brings an opportunity for the Progressive Labour Party to move forward with a labor agenda unapologetically. An agenda that reduces the system that breeds income inequality, the lack of opportunity in this country for many. Brothers and sisters, in 2017, the Bermuda Trade Union Congress released what we consider to be a workers' agenda. We will revisit this agenda annually. But on this agenda is a number of important things. We're asking for a living wage to be instituted in Bermuda. I have been invited by the Chamber of Commerce to sit on a panel discussion to discuss a living wage. My response was, talking is done, it's now time for implementation. We need to ensure we have a workforce development plan in place, one that connects people with jobs and jobs with people. Too many of our Bermudians are being left behind, and we have to ensure that we have the framework in place to assist those persons with gainful employment. We need to address our youth unemployment. Youth unemployment is highest in Bermuda. We can't allow our young people to feel that there is no hope in this country. We can't allow our young people to go away, get education, and feel like they don't want to come back home. We want to ensure our young people is not filtered into antisocial behavior, so we have to provide opportunity for our youth. We need to institute unemployment insurance. Help persons while they're in the transition of finding a job. We need to ensure that our workers get cost of living increases. We can't afford for the inflation rate to continually rise, taxes to increase, all other insurance increases, and our workers not receive cost of living increases so that they can continue to enjoy a high quality of life. We need to address age discrimination. We need to stop kicking out our mature folks at the age of 65. We have to look at that seriously. We don't want our mature persons transitioning from employment to financial assistance. That's not the way it should go. We need to refrain. We need to reform our labor laws and our pension laws. Employers should have to provide a pension for expatriate workers. We need to level the playing field. Brothers and sisters, we have to ask ourselves, why is the BTUC's workers' agenda so comprehensive? Why is there so much items on the agenda that needs to be addressed? I think we have to come to the conclusion that we live in a system that is not designed for a segment of the population to get ahead. We've seen our middle class deteriorate. We've seen our communities deteriorate. We're seeing our family structures deteriorate. Some would say, all by design. And so if I want to stand here on this Labor Day as a free worker, we must really be free. We know to shift the conversation in how we remove ourselves from this colonial rule. We have to now look at independence as a viable option for our people. So we can set our own agenda, so we can create our own system, and so we can see our people get ahead. Brothers and sisters, reach out for labor. Hip hip, hip hip, hip hip.
Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what